Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy MKS here, back here with the fourth and final part of something I didn't manage to finish yesterday or last night, which is the my plans for supporting and empowering the black community, especially in America, for February on Saturdays. As I normally like to stick to a certain theme on each day and like alliterations and things like that. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and as ever, I really hope you will share any links, comments, any thoughts you have, and any questions or anything else you want to post. As ever, I hope you will do so. But yeah, I think that covers everything for the intro. So these are points, ideas, or thoughts, or whatever you want to call the plans, number 31 to 40. And again, please do get involved in the comment section if you want to make your own reaction videos or your own videos inspired by this. Please feel free to do so, as long as they benefit the black community, especially in America in particular. So here goes. So number 31, I hope that this will be more based on strength and positive things and things like basically, again, going on alliterations like strengths. What strengths do black people have, the African American community, for instance, especially in particular. So rather than looking at weaknesses or things like that. So, for instance, people might say that people play the victim or things like that when the community asks for reparations or whatnot. On that note, I hope to have like discussions in the future for and against reparations and things like that. But again, I hope to focus more on the positives, the strengths and things like that. Number 32, I think it'd be cool if the black community supported each other's projects, whether that's social media projects, businesses, startups, SMEs, again, going on alliterations and things like that, but just generally projects, shall we say, like, so, as I say, social media, startups, SMEs, or even businesses generally, like banks as well, black-owned banks and things like that, and also perhaps African Americans and other minorities, members of the black community, for instance, those who are first-generation immigrants and things like that from parts of Africa directly. So technically they are African Americans, I suppose, like those who have come from Nigeria, Kenya and other parts of Africa to America, for instance. They could work together and maybe there could be a black network, again, where they support each other. Number 33, I think it'd be cool if the black community and other minorities were tax exempt. Possibly that could be a form of reparations where actually they don't even, for God's sake. Sorry about that, cat's messed up the screen. But they don't even stop that. They don't even need to necessarily be given more money in terms of reparations. They could actually keep what money they earn. But I'd love for people generally, to be honest, to pay the least amount of taxes and to cut taxes generally, as a libertarian anyway. But I think that could be a form of reparations. So the black community could be tax exempt. So I'd love for them to basically to pay the least amount of taxes possible, preferably to be tax exempt. Number 34, again, it'd be cool if they network together. Maybe there could be like an investment sort of thing. I'm sort of taking one of my own ideas and transferring it from the learning disabled or neurodiverse or special needs or whatever you want to call us, group or community. Like, so people with dyslexia, ADHD and things like that. I want to save those projects more for August and October and November perhaps as well, preferably. But I'm mentioning that because I want to borrow an idea of my own and basically transfer it to the black community. So basically, if they appoint an investor which they feel they could trust, someone like maybe Damon John, who funny enough has dyslexia as it happens, or someone like Aliko Dangote, or however you pronounce his name. Any Nigerians out there could correct my pronunciation perhaps, or anyone basically who knows how to pronounce Dangote, or however you pronounce it, or whichever other black community figure could be a unifying figure who could take black people like African Americans' money and help them to invest it so they increase their money, which is another way they could be financially supported. So yeah, they could learn to invest from each other, but basically some black people could help others to increase their money, basically make them money work for them, like to multiply their money by investing. Hope that made sense. If you have any questions on that or queries on that or thoughts on that or whatever, please do post along with all the other points. But I'll say a unifying figure could help, and maybe like they could work together and learn from each other. I suppose it is difficult to avoid scams and things like that, but if they could have like a trusted account, where a trusted investment platform where they could learn how to invest together, and like they know that money is going to be safe and it's going to multiply itself. So I'll say it's an idea I have for people with special needs as well. So again, I hope it makes sense, but I know you have to avoid scams, but there's like a trusted account where they know if they put their money in there, it's going to be invested wisely to benefit them. And again, as I mentioned in parts 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and stroke or 3, I can't remember which ones. I might have mentioned them in all these parts. Now I've got my chain of thought. Sorry. That they could remember their chain of thought. Sorry. Investors like BlackRock and others perhaps could invest in them. I can't remember if I mentioned this, but I think I did forget to mention some points on Blackwater, which I mentioned. For instance, Blackwater is a military contractor, so I don't know if I did mention a little bit about how I don't know if I could trust them, and if they did invest in the black community, like for instance, they might say, because we've invested in you, you have to join the military, or you have to do some training and then put them on the front line and put them in danger, or invest in them and have some sort of crafty way where it doesn't benefit them or things like that. So I'm a bit wary about whether Blackwater or even BlackRock or others could actually benefit the black community and would actually do so. I hope there's a way where the black community can sort of ensure that they don't get tricked. Again, just like avoiding scams. And a lot of the things, I nearly forgot this point, but a lot of the things I want to do to benefit the black community is to prevent them from joining the military, because hopefully if they have the financial wherewithal, they will be able to say no. And I was going to say a certain word, but there could be 2 words, and the second one would be you. The first one would probably start with an F, but I won't say that just now because it's sort of kind of family friendly, maybe not, but I'm going to avoid swearing anyway. But yeah, so they have potential FU money, so to speak. But anywho, moving on, number 35, it would be great to hear from African Americans on their ambition and what do you think could be done to help African Americans or black people generally to invest together, pool their money and resources together, and know that they can do that in a trusted way, so that they're not going to fall for scams or lose their money. Well, basically fall for scams / lose their money, or things like that. How can it be secured, basically, to put it simply, and how can they ensure that their investments will actually be invested wisely for their benefit, basically. So I'd love to know, again, suggestions on that. I'm hoping to put forward those ideas and hopefully help the black community to avoid scams and just generally be empowered, and things like that. Again, a goal and a dream I have is for minorities such as black people to be able to be legally tax exempt, or at least pay the least amount of tax as possible. That could be a form of reparations, where people say there's not enough money for reparations. Like, it could be argued there's money for wars, so why not for things like reparations, which other communities have had. But I could cover that point in a lot more detail, but I don't want the video to be even more longer. So I'm going to move on. Number 36, I would love for Italian teams, soccer teams, I know I'm recapping a point I mentioned earlier again, or in previous videos yesterday rather, but I would love for Serie A, that's the top Italian league, to have academies and supporters clubs for African Americans or the black community in America and all over the world, to get more African Americans into football, soccer. And that could be something that they could work with FIFA on to ensure that that's a good thing for FIFA, because it would get more people into soccer and to learn different terms. So football, soccer, calcio, footy, or whatever you call it, that could be a campaign by FIFA, whatever you call it. It's a great way to bring people together. I was thinking like for dyslexic, creative sort of advertising thing for FIFA, where they could say stuff like that. But I know it'd be kind of an unfair advantage, but hopefully it would improve relations between Italians and the black diaspora through soccer. And number 37, similar for Celtic, I would love for them to have academies and sports clubs. With Celtic, they already do quite a lot of work to tackle raise, well, a fair bit of work, shall we say. Probably could do more, and could do more to fundraise for the African American community, just like Serie A could. and Italian teams generally could, like AC Milan, Inter Milan, and whatnot. Um, and I'd love to support African Americans or black people generally in sport generally, but I'm not really that into or keen on other sports. Soccer is my main sort of thing by far. I mean, I'm interested in like tennis a little bit, but it doesn't really appeal to me that much. I could watch it for a bit. I could even play it for a bit, but it doesn't really. I like to focus as much as I can on football or soccer, as I say, or whatever you call it. Calcio, as they say in Italy. But again, yeah, Celtic, I think it would be cool if they got rewarded for all the good work they do for tackling racism and charity and things like that. And hopefully in the future could benefit financially through investment on the black community and also through academies, sports clubs and things like that. So hopefully it'll be a mutual benefit for the black community and for Celtic FC as well. I know they already have academies in America, but it'd be cool if they had like academies to help more African Americans get into soccer even more. Anywho, moving on, number 38. Once again, I think it'd be cool if the black community worked with other minorities like Asian, mixed race, Native American, Latino, Hispanic, or even non-WASP communities to tackle extremism and the fact that we are all a target of extremism. And I'd love to, again, I know it's a point I mentioned, but this is more of a recap of those sorts of points. Coming together as allies and my fellow mutts or other groups being allies for the black community. I think that was the point I was going to say. Number 39. So again, I'd love to know what you think about the potential for black people around the world, perhaps especially in America, to learn how to, I'm saying mainly America because it's February and it's Black History Month in America specifically. So what if they did invest together? And number 40, probably another one of those I shouldn't mention, but if I'm purely honest, probably should have made this adult friendly parts 3 and 4, but I know there's only 1 or 2 points that I've mentioned these sort of adult thoughts. But me personally, I think it'd be cool if God allowed black people, like as a form of reparations. I mainly think of the males to be able to be porn stars and gigolos and stuff like that, and they'll be reparated in that way. So it's a bit of a dilemma, like thinking if they're financially empowered, would that mean they have to be providers and stuff like that? So, but maybe they could do both. Maybe they could still be porn stars and gigolos and be financially empowered. Yeah, I'm probably too honest sometimes. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, and I hope people out there enjoyed my waffling ramblings of a mad person. But I'd love to know what you think about the ideas about, let's say, investing together, supporting each other on social media, and whatever other points I covered. And peace and love. I am out.